Kyle Gibson back as an Oriole. He joins Charlie Morton and all of the other spring chickens that now make up the Orioles rotation. Hello, everybody. I'm Jon Leiberman. This is Orioles Digest. So much to get to. Gunnar Henderson update. Kyle Gibson's an Oriole again. The Orioles have the oldest starting rotation in baseball right now. The number 5 starter has been decided. We also know if Félix Bautista will be on the opening day roster, and it appears that Dean Kremer will make the start for the home opener. So much Orioles news to get to. Real baseball in just a few days. It's going to be exciting. This is Orioles Digest. Again, I'm Jon Leiberman. Please like, subscribe, do all of the things because we are here all season long, and we will begin with Gunnar Henderson, obviously the 2023 Rookie of the Year, and also a top 5 finisher for the MVP last year as well. And unfortunately, Gunnar will be starting this campaign on the injured list. It appears he will only be out a week or two, but again, not quite the news that the Orioles wanted, although not completely unexpected. It does appear, however, that Jorge Mateo will be able to go for opening day, which is important in that infield as well. But again, Gunnar will not be ready to go for opening day. Lots of pitching news in the organization, and it starts with this man. The Orioles pick up again Kyle Gibson. Say what you will about the 37-year-old, but he is an innings eater, an absolute innings eater. In fact, if you look at the top 5 major league pitchers who's pitched the most innings over the past 7 seasons, in the top 5, the Orioles actually have 2 of those starters. It's Kyle Gibson and it's Charlie Morton. Now, you may say to yourself, well, Charlie's 41, Gibby is 37, and you wouldn't, be wrong, because if we look at the average age of the Orioles rotation, including Gibson, the average age is now nearly 35 years old. Gibson is 37. Morton is 41. Morton's actually the second oldest player in baseball, behind only Justin Verlander. You have Tomoyuki Sugano at 35. Zach Eflin is a baby at 31. And Dean Kremer, the youngest on the staff, at 29. So your staff now has an average age of nearly 35 years old. So, with the addition of Kyle Gibson joining the 41-year-old Charlie Morton, what do you think? I think it's not a bad thing. I think it's good. I think these are veterans. They're tried and true. They know how to pitch. They know how to navigate out of jams. Are they going to give up runs and hits? Absolutely they will. But depth, we're going to know. We're going to know this year if depth, at least up until the All-Star break, if depth can supersede having a true number 1 ace. I think it can. And the Orioles have quite a bit of depth. And speaking of depth, we now know who the number 5 starter is, and it is Cade Povich. Now, this was a battle. It was a battle between Cade and Albert Suarez. Suarez will now begin the season in the bullpen as the long man, and we will have to see how that goes, but it is good to have somebody like Suarez in the bullpen as the long man. Let's take a look at Brandon Hyde's comments about Cade. He said, look, there were some arguments to be made in either direction. We just thought Cade, he just looks so good right now. I think he gives us what we feel is the best chance to win that game, the 5th game of the season, he is in a good spot. And if you look at his numbers, the numbers were quite good, particularly got better as the spring went on. A 3.07 ERA over those 4 Grapefruit League starts this spring, 15 Ks. He walked 4 in 14 and 2/3 innings. So, Cade Povich is your number 5 starter and most likely will be the home opener starter for the Orioles when they get back to Baltimore to face the Boston Red Sox for the home opener. Now, we also have a few more updates as we get into opening day and real baseball just 4 days from now. And that is, first of all, Dean Kramer. Dean Kramer's last outing dazzled. 10 strikeouts. You're looking at your 4th starter here, Dean Kramer, also the youngest on the staff at 29. So Dean is now your 4th starter. So your rotation, it's going to be interesting where Gibby sort of slots in along with Sagano and Morton. There is talk that the Orioles may even start with a 6-man rotation, but there are a lot of, in the beginning of the season, off days and things like that. We do know the top of the rotation at the moment is Zach Eflin, followed by Charlie Morton, most likely followed by Sugano, then Kramer, then Povich, and Kyle Gibson is in the mix somewhere. Suarez becomes your long man out of the bullpen, and with the exception of Kittredge, the bullpen is fairly well intact right now. We have just learned Félix Bautista will be ready to go on opening day. So Félix, your closer, the all-star closer, will be ready to go on opening day. So again, the biggest injury news at the moment, Gunnar will be out for at least a week to start the season, potentially a little bit longer. And there's a lot of speculation about not Morton there, but let's get to our old friend Kyle Gibson. Look, I think it's clear Grayson Rodriguez is going to be out for a decent amount of time. Does that mean April and May? Does that mean up till the All-Star break? Does that mean even longer? We don't know at this point. Clearly, Kyle Gibson was brought in to add more depth. Clearly, you don't bring in Kyle Gibson if you think Grayson Rodriguez is back in a few weeks or whatever. So Kyle Gibson is here, and we will see if depth in the starting rotation can supersede having an ace. This is Orioles Digest. I'm Jon Leiberman. I'll see you soon for Real Baseball.